A lot of you probably don't know this, but the main reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel was to post an Accidents Will Happen video on the internet. Back when I was young, Accidents Will Happen was far and away my favorite Thomas song, and after discovering YouTube in the 2000s, my mission was set. I was going to make an Accidents Will Happen video of my own. And after learning how to record videos and import them into iMovie, I filmed some accidents, and here is the result.
Who is it?
Shh.
What?
Yeah, I used to be a cringy Thomas kid too. So now that we've seen how bad I used to be at making videos, it's time to mix things up and properly explain how I made this video and how you can avoid making the same mistakes. Welcome to film school with MTI. Now the first mistake made was recording the music in the video clips. Doing this severely dampens the audio quality and makes it impossible to properly edit out the footage audio so you can hear the music. You also end up getting varied volume levels if you move the camera away from the audio source, as well as having to pause and play the video as close to when you start and stop the camera. What makes it worse is how easy this is to fix. Use an editing software, download the audio you want to use in the video, then place the audio track under the video where you want it to play. This is one of the simplest things to do in video editing and is essential for making good videos. Next up is how the video was compiled. Normally in editing, you make cuts in the video where there's footage that doesn't need to be seen. This is usually the parts where you start and stop filming, as well as any outtakes you want to trim out. In the first clip here, there's a noticeable length of time between between the camera starting, the accident, and the camera stopping. In order to make this section smoother, I'm going to cut out that excess footage, and in a couple clicks, we've cut this clip in half from 12 seconds to 6 seconds. Doing this not only makes the video look better, but it also gives you more time to work with, which makes a big difference when making a music video. Lastly, let's talk about the way the video was shot. The first few clips were actually shot separately, but later on, you can tell I just moved the engines to different places and set up new accidents without stopping the footage. How do we fix this? Set up your accidents beforehand, then film what you want to show in the video, then stop recording. Rinse and repeat. For accidents like these that are all single shot clips, each accident was recorded in one take with no cuts, no different angles, and no establishing shots. The vast majority of crashes featured in the video had an engine falling from a height onto the floor, looking like this. Now, while that doesn't look horrible, it is a bit simplistic. So let's try it out with some alternate angles and establishing shots. First, I'm going to film Thomas traveling towards the cliff, establishing that Thomas is the character we're following and that he's pulling a train up this hill. Then I'll take a quick shot establishing these loose buffers at the end of the track, then Thomas will reach the top of the hill, then a shot of him approaching from behind the buffers, then Thomas goes through the buffers and begins his fall, then I take a shot of him and the train hitting the ground from this angle, and then a close-up shot of his freight cars and freight landing on him from this angle, and then a final wide shot of the aftermath. So now that I've gone in and edited the clips down, let's look at the crash that was filmed with different angles and establishing shots. Isn't that much more interesting? In just a couple more seconds, we managed to tell more of an engaging story with how Thomas came to fall off the cliff here. Making videos this way will require more work, but it pays off in the end with a satisfying and well-engineered product. So now that we've covered the basics, it's time to apply what we've learned as best we can to the old video I made over a decade ago. First, we're going to mute all the audio and add the music separately. Next, I'm going to trim the clips down and cut out all the unnecessary footage. There's also an abundance of engines falling off something clips, so some of them will need to be removed to keep things interesting. And now our video is more coherent, but also much shorter than the song track. Luckily for us, I have some other old Accidents Will Happen videos from my youth that we can borrow from. So now it's time to watch the ultimate Accidents Will Happen video using all the best clips I recorded from my childhood. But before we do that, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for making this video possible. And enjoy the carnage.